Hi there, my name is Patrick Ray. I'm the co-founder and managing partner here at Canopy Boulder. We're a business accelerator focused on the legal cannabis industry's ancillary products and services sectors, and that launched we really started work on this in 2013. And since then, we've made a lot of investments in the industry. And here today, I'm going to talk to you about opportunities for entrepreneurs in the cannabis industry. Let's get started. So again, back in 2013, we started work looking at the cannabis industry, where we could raise capital, deploy funds, and help companies do great things. And this is where we settled. That's why I have have the time here to talk to you. So disclaimer, I only know what I know since working in the cannabis industry professionally since that time. And I'm not here to predict the future, to tell you what is right or wrong, or what will make you a millionaire or a billionaire or not. But we have learned quite a few things over the years about entrepreneurship and investing in the space. So we're just here to share those. Okay, so that's why I'm here. I want to help you find your place in the cannabis industry. That is our number 1, 2, and 3 goals for this presentation today. So hopefully with a bit of an overview of opportunities and what's driving those, we can help you out. We learned this through running an investment fund and a business boot camp or accelerator, helping entrepreneurs launch businesses, raise capital, and find success in the cannabis industry. But by the numbers, to give you a heads up and a high level about Canopy and Canopy Boulder, we've raised 5 funds, deployed those from 60 plus investors, created companies with over $140 million in value, and that's growing every day. Those companies have raised over $35 million from outside investors. We've won now 8 ArcView Pitch Prize competitions. Those of you who are not familiar with the ArcView Group, they're the largest investor forum for cannabis investors in the world. Our companies that we've helped fund and launch, serving over 15,000 customers, created 200 plus careers, altogether making up the number 1 business ecosystem in the cannabis industry, certainly for entrepreneurs. Supported by over 100 mentors and advisors, experts from inside and outside the cannabis industry. We've made over 100 investments now into 80 companies in the cannabis space. So just by sheer volume, repetitions, we've learned a lot. By the numbers, we've had about 20 failures, which is expected and unfortunate, but what happens when you're launching businesses in any industry, and that failure rate is still quite low. So why do you want to lean in and pay some attention to what's happening in the cannabis industry and possibly turn your entrepreneurial energy to this space and launch a business? Let's talk about that. Right now, we are amidst a generational wealth opportunity in the cannabis industry. Despite headwinds like IRS Code 280E, challenges with banking, advertising, and social use, the industry is still growing and forecast to grow at nearly 30% compound annual growth rate over the next few years. What we're talking about here is an opportunity on par with the gold rush, the boom in oil, the end of prohibition, and .com. So there is no better place to be than right here. So when you're launching a business, what do you want? You want a rising tide, and the cannabis industry in North America is certainly that. They're expecting, this is data from the ArcView Group and BDS Analytics, they're looking at a $20+ billion market in just 2021. And my guess is these numbers are out of date and the opportunity is even larger as we get to better understand California and more states become legal. So what does the industry need? Quite frankly, the industry needs everything. The race has not been run, the winner's not decided. So the question to you is, where's the best place to launch? Now, first and foremost, I would encourage everyone to be honest with themselves and assess what their strengths and weaknesses are and where they have the right to win and with a successful company in the cannabis industry. Very often we get calls from people who are former, say, investment bankers from Wall Street, and they want to start a grow. Why they would want to compete with experts who've been growing for 20 plus years and figure out ways to scale, I don't know. Maybe better for them to get into finance. But for you, after understanding where you are strong, where you have a right to win, where you maybe have entrepreneur product or entrepreneur service fit, let's think about these areas. First and foremost, do you want to launch a public company? Not a bad way to make some money if you can time the market. As you see here, the markets in cannabis have definitely been going up and down. Do you want to invest in real estate? Now, that's a great place to park a lot of cash, and it's definitely a safer investment where seasoned real estate investors can make a slightly preferred return on what they would traditionally invest in. However, when you're investing in real estate, there's no way to get loans for cannabis-specific real estate ventures, right? So this is all going to have to be paid for out of cash. You can't go to a bank and get 7 times leverage and invest bigger and better. So you will participate in the cannabis industry, but maybe not with those 10x returns that everybody wants from the green rush. Hemp CBD. Now, this is a new area. We've seen McConnell and Schumer come together and move forward by attaching a hemp and CBD bill to the Farm Bill here in 2018. They said they expect to get that done in May, which is very exciting. So this could be a great wedge category for the cannabis industry to make further progress, just like CBD and medical markets in all of the states in which they are legal now. So we're looking for hemp and CBD to be a great market. Now you could also then grow full octane cannabis, right? Not a bad idea as well. And it's a lot of fun. Beautiful plants, you're really in the business. But as an entrepreneur, you got to understand the market dynamics. Cannabis, when legalized, often carries a very high price point as a commodity product. And over time, that wholesale price, the price at which a grower can sell their cannabis on the market, declines significantly. So what we've seen in Colorado is the wholesale price of cannabis go from like $2,000+ down to $1,000+ per pound or less. In fact, there are cultivators growing at between $100 and $125 per pound cost. For those indoor cultivators who've grown for a long time at $900+ per pound, as you can imagine, as the price goes down, their businesses can get upside down, and that's never good. How about infusing products? This is a lot of fun, right? The Trichome Crunch or the Keith Cat, a Twixt, Rasta Reese's. I mean, there's a lot of fun that can be had with edibles, creating them, marketing, selling them. At the same time, there are limits to multi-state expansion. There are rules about advertising and marketing, which can make the business of growing an edible company tougher after the initial stages of industry growth or state growth, where there's a lot of growth just through expansion and distribution, getting your product into stores. The nice thing about infused products is you can often attach a brand to them, which is going to garner a higher valuation multiple at exit, especially if you're bringing in investors. You got to think about that. You can dispense. How about getting into the business of retailing cannabis? This is a local dispensary out here in Boulder, near Boulder, Colorado. It's not the hole in the walls, like converted sandwich shop with the dust and old wood and dirt on the floors. Modern cannabis retail can be, and is often becoming more so, very high end. A lot of fun. These can be great cash machines. Still, don't forget, they're still federally illegal. Banking is much harder. Again, no interstate commerce here. But the one thing that really hurts dispensaries is IRS Code 280E. If you're not familiar, what it is a rule put out by the IRS that says that if you're a business trafficking in a federally illegal substance, you can only deduct your cost of goods from your revenues when you're trying to calculate your taxes. So what does that mean? You can't deduct employees' expense, can't deduct rent. These are big expenses when you're running a retail operation. So very difficult here with dispensaries. Or you can invest in the infrastructure of the industry, ancillary products and solutions. So here's just a sampling of some of the companies that have been launched out of Canopy's accelerator that do things like ad networks or bud tender education or entrepreneur education or HR, payroll, data, tissue cultures, all sorts of fun stuff that, frankly, the industry needs and outside companies in the mainstream aren't going to supply. In addition, what we like about the ancillary space, and I am completely biased here, but after doing a deep dive on all the sectors of the industry, we like ancillary because with little capital, these companies can spool up, do well, and there are clear exits. Whereas we don't see necessarily clear exits in the cultivation space, maybe some roll-up opportunity in dispensing, certainly some exit opportunities, sale opportunities for edible companies or infused companies that develop brands. But in ancillary, it's very clear where the exits are. If you launch a payroll company like Work, you might one day sell to ADP. So it's an exciting time to be launching infrastructure and ancillary products and services in the cannabis industry. And that's what we focus in on at Canopy Boulder. People always talk and want to know about valuation trends. So I thought I'd put in some information to give you, the listener here today, a perspective on how you should value your company. So these are from real deals. The trends that we're seeing in the cannabis industry peg monthly recurring revenues to company valuation. So when you're launching your business, when you're putting together a term sheet, when you're trying to defend your valuation, here's some data that might help give you some guideposts on that journey. Now, what about touching the plant? Your growers, edibles, oils, retailers, distributors. What we're seeing is in Colorado, 1 times last 12 months revenues, and in other states, who knows what the heck times the dream and or whatever you can get. Here's the thing. These markets are undeveloped, and because of the onerous tax structure, profitability is very difficult to achieve in the cannabis industry when you're talking about businesses that need to be licensed and have a state license from the state. So absent any impressive profitability because of IRS Code 280E, prices are all over the map. In the mature markets, one-time sales, the emerging or limited license markets, multiples are much higher. But in all of the cannabis industry, the payoff is real for entrepreneurs. We're already starting to see exits for companies in Canopy and outside Canopy. Just a few examples are listed here, and these don't include liquidation into the public markets, which is another opportunity. So part of being a successful entrepreneur is a little bit of luck. Congratulations, you're here on this webinar. In California, the largest state in the United States and the 5th largest economy in the world, has just legalized cannabis, and they're figuring it out in 2018. This is a great opportunity for you to dive in and get serious about launching a business in the cannabis industry. In addition, we are very close to solving that IRS Code 280E and the banking problems. Our contacts on the Hill believe that we're going to potentially have a solution here very shortly that solves banking. And what happens when all cannabis companies can get bank accounts? They can take out loans. And when they can take out loans, they have growth capital to rapidly expand their business that is not as expensive as, say, equity would be. So we're excited for this to be happening as well. So in Canada, which this chart shows the public markets, just imagine what's been happening here in 2018 in Canada happening in the United States, where we would see the same type of growth on when the US market nears federal legalization. And frankly, I think we're getting pretty close to that. It feels closer every day, which is really, really exciting. But when the markets go legal in the United States, we're going to see some incredible wealth generation, a lot of money flowing into the cannabis industry to grow it. So again, no better time to launch now, get your feet under you, so when this stuff happens, you're ready to catch the ball. So, again, 80 companies, 100 investments, worked with so many different entrepreneurs. Here's some words of wisdom from me, Patrick Ray, and all the Canopy team. Get yourself a co-founder. It is just too much to go on your own. You're not going to be able to get everything done you need to. And if you don't have a co-founder, you can't convince one person to join your team. Can you convince customers to buy your product? Can you convince investors to invest? Get help, because it's the better way to do a startup. Fully commit. We found over time that if founders don't fully commit, they do not find success. So put your head down through the problem and fully commit. Hunt unicorns. If you're going to be launching a business, you might as well aim high. Lifestyle businesses are great that pay your salary, maybe one other person, but if you're taking on venture investment, you're in the cannabis industry, you might as well enjoy the upside. So choose wisely. Understand this is not easy. We had one of our companies in our first cohort said, I left my 9 to 5 to come work in the cannabis industry, and here I am working 7 to midnight. It's a lot, and you need to come in with your eyes wide open, understanding that if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, but it sure ain't. This is another one. There's plenty of opportunities to come up with sexy products, really complex. Why not just keep it really basic? Some of our most successful companies are doing really simple things that the industry needs, like payroll processing and data. Sixth thing, pay attention. It may look like things are going left in this industry, and then all of a sudden half of them are going right, and that is really important. This is a dynamic, fast-growing industry. There's a lot happening, and you got to pay attention. So along with that commitment, you got to pay good attention. And then finally, understand this is a frontier industry, high risk, and it's been federally legal for a long time. So you need to be very careful about who you're partnering up and who's at the table or behind the people at your table. And understand, do your due diligence on everybody that you work with. At Canopy, our vision and mission is to help entrepreneurs launch their businesses and increase their probability of success. Give them the resources, the capital, the networks, the stage on which to build their own business ecosystem, their own village, and find success. We are accepting applications at Canopy Boulder for our next cohort. And I would encourage you to go to canopyboulder.com/apply, read about our program, understand how we do things, and if you're interested, submit an application. We'd love to take a look and see if you're right, and we're right for you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. Again, my name is Patrick Ray. I'm the managing director and co-founder of Canopy Boulder. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to meeting you on the road in person or seeing your application come in. Thank you very much.